So, beginning with the suffering that ties the bind, we're back at Eastern Baltimore 5 years before the current game. As people may remember, Torque was originally pent up in Eastern during the events of the suffering. It was described that he had been sent there first before Carnate. So we're getting to see a little bit of what happened back in that time.
Where your head at? I'm talking to you. I know you're low, my man. Carmen giving you divorce papers this morning? That's some low-down, dirty business. Wasn't even your fault. You were baited. The word I heard? Blackmore hired that fool to come pick a fight with you. Coached him to say those lies about your boys. Then, surprise, the police walked right in. Someone tipped them. No coincidence to it. Blackmore was all over that. Now, Blackmore's got collared himself. He's in here now, with the freaks and the fiends and the schemers and us.
But we can see in the background that stuff is kind of getting organized against us currently while our friend here is talking.
What'd he look like?
But here we're actually going to have Torque's first speaking line.
Looks like trouble.
And if anybody is particularly aware, that is the late great Michael Clark Duncan. Well, you may know him from being the bouncer at Night at the Roxbury. He also played the Kingpin in the original Daredevil movie. And more often than not, he's known as being John Coffey from The Green Mile.
Somebody needs to learn his place.
What's that you gonna do, boy?
But he also starred in this as Blackmore and Torque.
Last-minute entry, and now I'm playing this game.
Blackmore owns Eastern now. Particularly you two.
Ain't a living soul that owns Torque. He ain't no slave, and neither am I.
Bluster is the tool of the sucker player.
You shut your mouth when we talk to you. Learn
I think they chose a pretty good voice for Blackmore, so
Letting him play this game.
it was a pretty good decision to use Michael Clark Duncan.
You will follow it without question.
Probably one of the most easily identifiable voices for myself outside of Keith David.
Smart always wins.
If anybody doesn't know, Keith David voiced Goliath from Gargoyles. So,
Why do you think
the really easy to identify man.
you weren't enough of a player for her?
And if you don't do what Blackmore says, your precious little boys may not make it to junior high.
Fuck all y'all. Ain't no way in the world.
But yeah, we're starting a prison yard fight. Well, not really starting a prison yard fight, but we're getting into a scuffle in the prison yard.
Finish these losers.
And we are very much at a disadvantage between them having a kitchen knife and a lead pipe, and it's just us and our already beaten to hell friend. So, we're pretty lucky. But to begin with, just so we don't get blasted by the guard on the catwalk up there, we're just going to hide in this corner. And again, just like the original, we can switch between first person and third person at any point that we want. So it is kind of interesting.
Look what we have here. You and Blackmore acted like you own Eastern. You probably caused this. Riots or chaos. Casualties are expected.
Not my man Torque. You want Blackmore.
Who's on top and who's on bottom now?
But yeah, a regular old prison riot happening while we're in here. It does happen to give us our opportunity to, quote-unquote, escape.
Mercury's rising up in here. Yo, sure, we get you guys out. Just stay clear, you know what's good.
A few things of note for this new game. You can't actually hold Zombium. So we can't hold up to 9 bottles of Zombium anymore. We can only pick them up and never hold any. And at the same time, we also can only hold 2 weapons at one given time. So we need to switch off weapons if we're getting low.
Go snag that heat. me. That's what I'm talking about. It's open. Follow with me.
So we go ahead and pick up our shotgun and then get separated from our friend.
Play us. There are inmates trapped in the yard. What's that sound? It's CO's coming. Fucker's gonna be damn inconvenient. Blood. We'll have to deal with it. I'm out.
But yeah, there is still the supernatural element that is happening at the same time. Torque seems to have violence follow him wherever he goes. So we do want to be on the lookout for that sort of stuff. We're going to go around the corner and have a captain jump down here. For those unaware, there is a new version of enemies in this that are captains, and they absolutely require insanity mode to deal with. And the little reference to the first game whenever you get attacked. But here we have Copperfield. We'll talk about him later on as we go. Since it's just a prologue, it just kind of gets you acquainted a little bit with the enemies you're going to be fighting. And Blackmore giving us a call. He plays a absolutely major role in all of this, so we'll get to see him more. But again, they have the little spooks with the video cameras. We're actually in the room down there that Slayer is going to, but it's just to spook you, nothing else.
Surprise.
But here we actually have our first morality decision. Since we're going for the good playthrough, we have to choose between shooting the guard or shooting the inmates. And since they're with Blackmore, you can probably assume that they're kind of assholes. So we're absolutely going to save this guard.
Know the guard should all.
So we do get good morality by getting rid of the guards. Or not the guards, the inmates that are dealing with the guard. The guard does die regardless, but we do get good morality for getting rid of the inmates all the same. And again, we can tell if an enemy is a captain by the shimmering kind of fog effect around them. Almost looks like smoke. So, if you see a captain, you can't defeat it with conventional means. You have to use insanity mode.
He got me.
And here is a pretty messed up part. We have the creeper. This guy is just really, really fucking weird overall.
Choose to see her inner self. Remember, blood's the best lubricant.
Yeah. That guy basically probably bumped up the rating on this game by himself. And here we just have another spook scene. Kind of interesting. All it does is knock out the monitor though, so not really anything too much to worry about. It's not like it's there behind us. But here we have the inmates versus the guards. But I decided to side with the guards just because, well, they're just doing their job currently. Doesn't really matter in the end because, yeah, the arsonists come in the place and absolutely destroy the guards that are left. So we're kind of getting an overview of all of the enemies we're going to be fighting. We've had Slayers, the Gorger, arsonists, just a few of the things that we'll see along the way. But we do have a melee now. I don't believe there's ever anything hidden in crates or anything like that. At least I never got anything from crates. I kind of searched around the entire game just to see, but they never really dropped anything, so. For this part, pretty easy. Blackmore just sends down some goons. 2 on this side, 2 on the other side. back and forth for like 3 or 4 waves. Pretty easy. But yeah, we only have 3 shotgun shells. Well, we only had 3 shotgun shells left, so you could probably guess that ammo is a bit more scarce as it goes in this one. But here we get our first insanity mode, which was upgraded a lot in this one. It definitely has a much better general purpose than the first one. But after we clear out the room, that's going to be the end of the prologue. We kind of just have the overview of Blackmore, the overview of all the controls. The prologue just showing us general introduction to the game. But as soon as Blackmore comes in the room, we pass out, and that's the end of part 1. So let me know what you guys think, and have a good one.